All right, hey, what's going on, you guys? How do you do? It's your boy Gray here, and welcome back to the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, the Black Ops 7 beta is officially now available. It's finally here. Hopefully, you guys got some beta codes just like I did. I actually haven't even pre-ordered BO7 yet. I actually used my money to pre-order Battlefield 6. I will be pre-ordering BO7 at some point down the road. It's just that Battlefield 6 is the priority pre-order at the moment. So for today's video, I just wanted to bring you guys my personal settings and what I believe are some of the best settings that you guys should use throughout the beta. And for full transparency, I am playing on a PlayStation 5 and I am playing on controller. So let's get to this, ladies and gentlemen. If I can ask for an early like on today's video, if this video was helpful in any way, shape, or form, if you guys could drop a like for us, it would really help out. Subscribe to the channel. We got a lot more content coming up. I'm going to be posting a lot of videos in the next couple of days. Subscribe, drop a like, and if you guys want to catch us live, check us out over on Twitch. Links in the description to everything I just mentioned. Let's get to this. All right, we're going to go over each section here, each tab, and just a fair warning here, ladies and gentlemen, this is personal preference, but at the end of the day, some of these settings are highly recommended that you should use. All right, first up here, guys, over on controller, and in the first tab up there, we're under controller. So controller, that's what I'm using, and if you guys are wondering, I am using the PlayStation 5 DualSense Edge controller with the paddles in the back. My button layout, I always switch it to tactical, but to each their own at the end of the day. Whatever you guys feel comfortable using, and honestly, if you have a controller with paddles on there, I mean, it doesn't really matter. You guys can even set it to default, whatever you guys want. Stick preset layout here, I have it as stick layout preset. I have it as default, but whatever you guys feel comfortable using at the end of the day. These two right here are personal preference. For horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity, I like to set it at a 1.6, and I think this is a good starting point for a lot of players. And once you try one or two matches with this, you can adjust, either increase or decrease, but I think 1.6 is a great starting point here for stick sensitivity. If I remember correctly, I believe they said a 1.6 was like a 6 sensitivity, 1.8 was like a 7, and so forth there, but 1.6 is a pretty good balance starting point, I think. We're gonna go through these pretty quickly here. So simplify controller presets, that is off. Low motor strain preset, that is off. L1 button ping, I have that off as well. Swap L1 R1 with L2 R2. This is completely, I know some people who actually use this, completely up to you, personal preference. I use it as just the way it is with the L1 as default. Next up here, ladies and gentlemen, controller vibration. This is a highly recommended option here that we all say you should turn off. I honestly don't think I've had controller vibration on since I first started playing Call of Duty back in Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare on the PS3, and then I remember somebody told me to turn it off, and I turned it off and I never looked back. It's just the slightest thing, like a controller vibrating, that can affect your aim, and even if it's in the slightest way, it's something that you don't need, so we all recommend to turn that off. And the same goes here for trigger effects. If you have a PlayStation 5 controller, just turn that stuff off. It's actually a pretty cool effect to have on for like the campaign or even zombies, but I think for multiplayer or Warzone, you don't want any of that stuff. All right, this next section here, dead zone inputs. This is going to be complete preference, and it's going to be catered to your own personal controller, but these are the settings that I'm currently using, and the great thing is too, you can always test it out for yourself. Left stick minimum is at a 1. That is the lowest that we recommend that you guys put it on. Left stick max, just leave that up to 99. I know some people who actually drop this number. I've always left it at 99, to each their own, I guess, at the end of the day. Right stick minimum. Now for me, for my controller, I have this set at a 5. I realize that if I set it at a 4 and I run a test and I do this, you see how it's not centered anymore. I know my face cam is kind of blocking. Hang on. There you go. Sorry, that's what I was trying to show you. See how it's not centered? It doesn't return right back to the center. I realize that when I have it at a 4, it doesn't return back to the center, but when I set it to a 5 and I run a test, it always jumps right back to the center, and that's why mine is at a 5. Right stick max is at a 98. L2 and R2 button dead zones, I just have that set to 0. I know some people who like to have this at a 1. Some people have it at like a 5. Some people at a 10. This is all personal preference. This is all personal preference. At the end of the day, I like to set mine at a 0. All right, next up here, guys, over to the aiming tab, sensitivity multiplier. I've left these 3 right here, these 4 I should say, I've left them as default, just at 1. I don't feel like I ever really utilize these things enough to really notice. Even in Warzone, I don't really drive like the vehicles that often. I've had too many bad experience with vehicles in Warzone and stuff like that, so I just refuse to jump into any vehicles unless I absolutely have to. But down here, ADS sensitivity multiplier, I just set that to a 0.75, but this is a setting that you actually adjust in a little bit. I'll show you guys the adjustments. But this one here, ADS sensitivity multiplier focus, I set this one up here at a 0.75. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this is truly just personal preference. This is stuff that you're gonna have to, you know, maneuver and mix and match and see whatever feels the best for you. For me, I've always set it to a 0.75, and if I feel like it, if I need to increase it or decrease it, I will do that. Look inversion on foot, I have all of that set to standard, and then here we are, we move over to aiming advanced settings. This is one I feel like I need to spend a little more time on, but the ADS sensitivity transition timing, I've actually had that set to gradual here, but I know a lot of people who actually use instant, and I was actually one of those people who used instant, but lately I've been feeling pretty comfortable with gradual. Third person ADS correction type, I have that as assist. Aim response curve type, this is a really divisive setting. I think that a lot of people would say the best one is dynamic. Some people would say it's standard. Oddly enough, I usually set mine to linear, and I know I'm like one of the rare people who usually set it to linear, but I've always set mine to linear. And funny enough, last game, Black Ops 6, I actually set mine to dynamic. For this game, at the moment, I'm gonna set it as linear, and if I feel like I need to change it up, I will change it up. But typically, my personal preference for this is linear. Each their own at the end of the day. I think the main one that a lot of people use is dynamic. So you guys might want to try dynamic and see how that feels. I'm gonna try out linear for the moment, and if I feel like I need to change it, I'll change it. The aim response curve slope scale, this is something that I don't really mess with ever. Let me know in the comments if you guys mess with this, and if there's something, this is something that I gotta adjust. Let me know if that's something you guys do. Now, the custom sensitivity per zoom, I usually have this option on, and here are the settings that I personally use regarding the zoom levels. So low zoom, I got that at a 0.75, 2 times to 3 times 0.80, 4 times to 5 times 0.85, 6 times to 7 times I have a 0.90, and then these two here I just have that set to 1.0. And actually for the high zoom, honestly, I might even go 1.10. Next up here, guys, aim assist, target aim assist. Listen, if you're on controller, I highly would recommend. I know there's some crazy people out there who are absolute beasts that don't use aim assist while using controller, and to you guys, I commend you, but I have always used aim assist, and I don't think I can play this game without aim assist on controller. But again, personal preference, I guess, at the end of the day, but I would highly recommend using aim assist, especially if you're on controller. Motion censored features here, I have that as off, so yeah, just off. Next tab here is movement. All right, sprint assist off, mantle assist off, crouch assist off, corner slice, that's basically like when your character in a corner or on the side of something, you'll see him like turn the weapon, like looking right. I like that. I don't know, I like the way that looks, so I have that on, but to each their own at the end of the day. It's just a lean mechanic for visual purposes. It doesn't really do much. Wall jump assist, I have that as off. Active roll assist, I have that as off. All right, this next one here is could be a bit of an important one, but to each their own at the end of the day. Slide/dive behavior, I personally have that set to tap to slide, and I actually have gone slide only in the past as well. I know a lot of people who would recommend hybrid. I'll be honest, I tried hybrid, just wasn't for me. I was not a fan. I took it off after the first day, did not like it. I would recommend either slide only or tap to slide. I would only recommend hybrid because I know a lot of other people use it. I'm just saying personal preference, not for me. Maybe it's for you. Slide/dive activation delay medium. I'll set that to short. I'll set that to medium. I'll leave it as medium just because I've always had it there, but I guess it all depends on how you guys want to have that activation delay feel for you. Automatic airborne mantle, I had that on for a second, but no, you want to have that off, and maybe you want to have that on or on partial. That's up to you. Personally, I have that as off. Next up here, guys, sprint restore, I personally have that as off. I like to control when I'm sprinting manually, but to each their own. This basically allows you to resume sprinting after various actions without being required to press L3 again. I typically always like to make sure I press L3, so that's just my personal preference, to each their own here. Slide maintained sprint, I have that on. Wingsuit activation manual, wall jump activation, that's a press, meaning that you're gonna have to press X while you're going towards the wall, jumping towards the wall. Slide/active roll behavior, I have that tap to slide. Active roll camera, I have that set to third person. Movement advanced settings. All right, let's move on to this one. So for the sprint/tactical sprint behavior, I just have that set to toggle. Auto move forward, I have that set to off. I don't know anybody who has that on. Auto door peek, I have that set to off also. Grounded mantle here, I have that on. Tactical tactical sprint activation. Single tap, that's for me, single tap to activate sprint. Some people like to double tap, up to you guys, man. Plunging into water, I always set that to free, not trigger. I have that as free. And lastly here, sprinting door bash, I have that on, even though I know in this game there aren't doors, right? All right, next up here, guys, vehicle behavior, vehicle control, I have that driver control. Score streak vehicle control mode as aim based. Short delay for this option here, free look, and then melee slash finishing move slash body shield. All right, and we made it to the last tab here for controller. First up, aim down sight behavior, I have that set to hold, and that's the one I would recommend. Weapon mount activation, ADS plus melee, that's the one I have. Dedicated melee weapon, it's basically a hold. You just hold circle to pull out the melee. Some people like the wheel. I'm not a big fan of that one, but to each their own. Body shield slash finishing move behavior, I have prioritized finishing move. If I want to do the body shield stuff, that's I know I gotta double tap the circle button. To each their own there. But following that here, armor plate behavior, always apply all. C4 detonation activation, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I don't remember the last time I ever used a C4 in any Call of Duty. I'm not gonna lie to you, so to each their own. I don't know what people are doing nowadays with that. Maybe all at once, maybe one by one. I just leave it to all at once, I guess. Equipment behavior is hold. Manual fire behavior is press. And here we go, moving over to combat advanced settings. I think the only two here that I would focus on is the mantle cancels reload and also sprint cancels reload. Have that one is off. I left this one on. And for the others here, I'll start from the top and work my way down so you guys can see. So I have that ping, sprint slash tactical sprint, focus, short delay, tap to reload, on, off, independent. I have that off right there, on, and off. All right, next up here, overlay advanced settings. And then first one, inventory control. I have that set to directional button. Ping wheel delay, I have that set to short. I think it was on moderate, I think. Double tap danger ping delay, I just have that to short as well. Switch that over. And then the emote and spray wheel position, I just have that as default. All right, next up here, guys, and moving on to graphics. First up, brightness and gamma slash brightness. I usually bump the brightness up a bit there, and I usually bump it up to either like a 58, 55, 60, whatever you guys feel comfortable, but I would recommend bumping it up a bit. My eco mode preset is just set to efficiency over on the next tab here for quality. This is a very important tab, and I would recommend all of these settings as I'm recommending them. World motion blur off, weapon motion blur off, depth of field off, fidelity FX cast, this one I would recommend turning on and bumping up the fidelity. I think I said fidelity earlier, sorry. Fidelity FX cast strength, bumping that up to a 60. This might be also a personal preference thing. I know some people that bump it up to like 80. I know some people who bump it up all the way to 100. That's a bit much, but this is personal preference. I like my sharpness to be a little bit sharper than what it already is, so I bump it up to a 60. Next up here, guys, on demand texture streaming. I think a lot of this just it comes down to your internet, your basic internet strength, whatever you think your internet service provider can provide you with. I don't know what service you guys have or what packages you guys have when it comes to your internet. I have mine set to optimize, but you know, if your internet isn't that strong, maybe switch it to minimal. Allocated texture, cache size, I just have that to auto. I know some people who leave that at small. To each their own at the end of that. I just have it as auto. I have pretty good internet, thankfully, so I don't really have to worry too much about this stuff in this game. And then download limit is off, but again, all up to you guys regarding what internet you guys have or what your usage limits are. All right, next up here, guys, here's a couple of settings that I would recommend as well. So motion reduction preset off. Arachnophobia mode, I guess this is just for zombies. It just says swaps the model of vermin zombies and spider models to a more friendly variant, whatever the hell that means. I just have that as off, but I guess if you have some kind of phobia to spiders, maybe you want to turn that off. I'm sorry, on. All right, here we go, man. Field of view, this is a very important one here. I think the original is at like 90. I think that's what it's set to. I would highly recommend bumping that up, man. Bumping that up. I have that to a 108. I've gone as far as 110. I'm starting with 108, and if I feel like I need to bump it up, I will definitely bump that up. Some people go all the way. They would just max out the FOV. Each their own. I've tried maxing it out. It just wasn't for me. I feel like 108, 110 is a really good balanced place for me. But I would recommend anything over 100. I would recommend. And then this is another important one here. Instead of independent, I don't know what it's set to, but make sure it's on affected. And then this one here, I have set to wide. I'm going to keep my eyes on this one because I think some people leave it as default. I'm going to set it to wide and see how it feels. And if I feel like I need to change it, I will keep you guys posted. And by the way, any major changes that I made, I'll leave in the pinned comment of this video. But all of these settings are a really good starting point for you guys. And you can just work off of these, whatever feels comfortable for you. view. Third person field of view, just left that to 90. This option here, just set that to default. Here we go. Camera, first person, third person here. You want to move that down to least. And then this option here, just left it at third person ADS. And then inverted flashbang. So instead of a bright white screen, you just get I believe it's like a low light effect or something. More like a darker thing that appears. All right, next up here, ladies and gentlemen, audio. First up, master game volume. I just leave that at 100. Again, these are all personal preference, whatever you guys want to set it as. Gameplay music volume. I'm a content creator. I'm a streamer. I usually have my own music playing in the background, so I always turn off gameplay music volume. I set that to 0. Dialogue, I have that at 80. Effects, I have that at 90. You can leave that at 100, whatever you guys feel comfortable with. Cinematic music, again, music stuff, I usually turn that all the way off. It's just my personal preference. Audio mix, you have a lot of options here. You guys, whatever you feel comfortable using. I'm usually using headphones, always using headphones, so I have headphones, bass, boost. Mono audio, I have that set to off there, have that option off. Mute licensed music, again, I am a content creator. A lot of these licensed music will hit my channel with a copyright, so I usually just turn that off. Or in this case, turn on the option to mute that music. Asymmetrical hearing compensation, I don't really need any of these things. If you need it, maybe this is stuff that you need to have on. I personally have that off. Reduce tinnitus sound, I have that off. Marker preset, I have that as default. Voice chat, this is all once again personal preference, but here's what I'm using if you guys are curious. I lowered this down to about a 16. I'd even go as low as 10, but I set that to 16 for the moment here. On all lobby at the moment, but if I'm playing with my friends, or if I'm partied up, I usually just set to party only or friends only. Communication preset, I have that off. Microphone level, all of these things are pretty much normal. I think I only reduced open mic sensitivity down to a 50, but there you go. All right, next up here, guys, over in interface, first one, global at the top, first tab. New prompts set to automatic. Gameplay tips, just I have that on, I guess. I mean, you could turn that off. I don't really need it. I just kind of used to it at this point. Tutorials, I had that on for a second, but no, I had turned that off. Skip kill cam, I have that off, but up to you guys, whatever you feel comfortable. I've always had it as skip kill cam, and you just press square to skip it. Tool tips, I have that on. Server latency, you want to have this option on, and packet loss, you want to have that option on. It'll show up at the top left hand corner of your screen, and it's just crucial information to have while you're playing the game. Clock, I have that off, and then network in-game alert icons, I have that on. All right, readability, next tab here, readability. Visual support preset, I have that on. Subtitles, this is personal preference. I've told you guys this many times before in the past. I usually always have my subtitles on. It's just something that I did way back in the day, and I've just always kept it. I don't really know why at this point. It's just something that I have on, and I just feel comfortable having it on. So I have subtitles on here, and then I have it for campaign, multiplayer, zombies, Warzone, and co-op campaign as well there. Subtitle size, I just have that set to larger, but some people like it at default. So this 0, menu text size default, text chat size default as well. All right, now this is a important part, I think, that a lot of people are curious about: color customization. So I've personally customized any chance I can. I've always customized color customization within the game, like colors that really pop on screen, that make things a lot easier for me to see, stuff that I don't even have to think about. I just notice it and I know what to do. So for the HUD color padded, I have it set to custom, but I originally had it at Tritanopia. And then basically here are the colors that I'm using. It's a bright neon, it's almost like neon colors. Yellow, light blue or baby blue color there, green, pink, like a pinkish neon pink color there for enemy, white, and contested. Now what I basically did here, you guys, is I increased the brightness all the way on almost every single one of these. I think I did it for each one of these, just increase the brightness all the way here. Green here for my party, I usually always set that to green for my party members. Enemies, a lot of people like red, and if you like red, to each their own. I've come to realize that this pink right here, this neon pink, really shines brightly out in the field, so I ended up going with neon pink. Just increase the brightness on that. Neutral is the white there, and again, just increase the color on that. And contested, have that set to red. The squad member colors, I just left that as is, I didn't even touch that. Color filter, you want to use color filter 2, and then for color filter target, you want to have that set to both. And then world intensity, interface color intensity, I have that all the way up to 100. All right, and lastly here, guys, in interface, the tab, we are in gameplay HUD. HUD visibility, I just have that set to on there. I think the big option here that a lot of people are like wondering whether or not they should have this on is the new option that allows you to choose whether or not you want to see the display player health bars. I'm going to leave that on for the the moment, I don't think it really bothers me. If I feel like it bothers, or I feel like I don't like the way it looks in game or whatever, I'll turn it off. But for the moment, I have that on, and everything else here is on as well. As you guys can see, everything there is on. Following that here, safe zone, that's just something that you guys got to adjust for your own monitors or TVs. Vehicle HUD prompts fade after 10 seconds or never disappear. I just have that there. So the radar option next up here, radar, I had that off for a second. I think I'm gonna leave that on. I just want to see what it looks like in game. I haven't had a chance to see what that looks like, but if it bothers me, I'll turn that off. To each their own, I guess. There, radar, I left it on. Minimap visibility on. Minimap rotation on. Compass on. Next up, crosshair lines, I have that on. Crosshair line spread, I have that on as well, which is the lines that you see there. I think it's helpful. Crosshair dot, I have that on. And then this is a important thing. A lot of people don't even know about this, but you can set that to largest. It's set to default there, but what you want to do is you want to set it to largest, and that's what I would recommend. Crosshair opacity, I have that at 100. Crosshair color, I just left that as white. I usually have always had that to be white, whatever color, I guess, whatever color you guys want to use, completely up to you. Hit marker visuals on, and damage based hit markers on as well. All right, and there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all the settings that I currently have right now for the Black Ops 7 beta on controller. Highly recommend working off of those. Those are some great base variants. Those are some great base settings to start off with. Some of those settings depth like absolutely need to be adjusted, like the world motion blur, stuff like that, fidelity, FX cast, and all that stuff. Like there's some settings that we went through that you should absolutely change or just put as the way that I have it. But a lot of these settings are just great starting points. Just work off of whatever feels best for you. All right, well, I'm gonna get going here, folks. Thank you for checking out the video. I hope these settings were useful and helpful for you guys. Let me know if you have any comments or questions. Let me know in the comment section below. Got a lot more content coming up. I'm about to get into some games here, figure out some good builds, figure out some good attachments and stuff like that for these guns. What are some of the best weapons to use? You guys want to catch us live? I'll be live over on Twitch today, so feel free to give us a follow. Links in the description. And if you're new around here, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and drop a like for us. It would really help out. Click on that thumbs up on today's video. Any comments, questions, concerns, please let me know in the comment section below. If you guys are interested in any Control Freak products, you can check out their website. Link in the description. You can use code GRAY over at Control Freaks. You can also use code GRAY over at AIM Controllers, and you can use code YT Gray over at G Fuel. Links in the description to everything I just mentioned. And if you use my code at checkout, you get a nice discount off your order. Make sure to give us a follow outside of YouTube on our social media platform: TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. It's everything in the description below, man. All right, I'm gonna call it there, guys. Like I said, more content coming up. Stick around. First of many videos, and thanks for watching. Till the next one, my name is Gray. Peace.